Okay, in this short tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a course homepage using pages to build instructor presence in your course, set the climate and expectations, and all of that. So you'll see I have a brand new course. There's nothing here yet. And when I go to choose my course homepage, it gives me a lot of options. And the one I want to create is the Pages front page because that's going to allow me to welcome students to my course with a completely customized experience. And so you'll notice that's grayed out. That's not one of my choices. So what I have to do is actually go back and create that page first before Canvas allows me to choose that as an option. So I'm going to go to Pages. And then I'm going to create a new page and I'm going to name it, and I always just name my course homepage, course homepage. That's actually not going to show on the page when it's your homepage. And then I'm just going to use the rich content editor to start adding content to my page. So you can see this is a lot like using Word. I can choose all of these options. I can bold text, add italics, I can highlight my text, I can add links, pictures, video content, I can add videos from Panopto or from Studio. This is really your canvas. It's called Canvas because it's a blank canvas, and I want you to think about it that way when you're curating this opening experience for your students. So again, this is going to be your students' first impression of you and your course when you're teaching an online course. So what I've already prepared some text and I'm just going to start adding it. But the first thing I'm going to show you is how to add headings. So the first heading on my page, actually, let me just quickly show you the home page that I'm creating so you can get the big picture before I start creating it. So I have basically some headings on this page, and that's really important not only visually for students so that they can quickly identify the information that they need, but also for accessibility. So adding these headings is going to allow people who use screen readers to easily navigate your page and find the information they're looking for. So I'm going to go back to that page that I was creating. And I'm going to start adding my content. So the first thing I'm going to do is add that heading. And so to add that heading, all I'm going to do is select the text. And then from this option here where it says paragraph, I'm going to choose heading 2 because this adds some semantic structure to your page, and that's what screen readers are reading. They're not simply just they can't pick up if you just make it bold and big or something like that. So I'm going to use these official heading styles, and that's a little big for my taste. Once we apply the heading, we can actually go in and change how it looks. So I'm just going to make it 14 and bold. And then what I like to do, if you notice, is I like to indent my sections to give it a little bit of that more visual, I guess, clarity. So I'm going to go ahead and indent, and I think that must be behind this little 3-dot menu. If you can't find something, just click that 3-dot menu and that will help you find it. And I'm going to click indent, and then I'm just going to copy all that text that I had there and add it to my page. And here's where you can just sit and, write it. Oh, it didn't save my indent, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that again. Okay, so you can see I just introduce myself. I tell students a little bit about the course. I convey my enthusiasm for the content. And, I set the tone, I set the climate for my course. And this is so important as we talk about with the community of inquiry model. We want to set the tone, and the course homepage is such a great opportunity to do that. Okay, so now I want to include a picture of myself, and this is so important, I think, for instructor presence, is just showing yourself, showing up, letting students know who you are. This makes a huge impact for students just to immediately know who is the person guiding me through these learning experiences. So to add a picture, I'm just going to click this image button, and then I'm going to navigate to the picture that I want to add. Where did I have that? So I have this picture of me holding my textbooks for the textbook for the course, and it's going to make it huge. And clearly that's not what I want to be in my course homepage. So what I'm going to do is just click on that image, and then it gives me more options, and it's going to open up this panel on the left, and you can see for the alt text, it's going to put in the file name, which I don't want. This is what students are going to, who are using screen readers, this is what they're going to hear. And we never want them to hear just like a file name that makes no sense. So, just to let students know if they can't see the image, what they're seeing. I could go into a little bit more detail and describe myself if I want to say, I might say that I'm smiling because again, I'm trying to set the tone here, and I want to set that tone for all of my students, not just the ones who can see my image. And then here's where I can change the size. So we can make it custom. Like I know that 150 by 150 or something like that will make it pretty small, but what I can do is use this drop down to just make it small, and then we can see what that looks like. And if we don't like this size, which I think that size is fine, we can come back in here and just play around until we get it how we want it, or we can even, you know, use those numbers, but I'm just going to stick with the small one. Okay, so now I want to create that next section of my course homepage, so I'm just going to go ahead and follow that same process to add the rest of the content. Okay, so I went ahead and added the text and applied my heading styles to these next sections, just so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. And I also set up some other elements in my course so I would have them to link to. So the first thing I want to do here in my how to get started in this online course area is make this a numbered list. So I want to make it very intuitive for my students what they should do as they start my online course. And this draws from the Quality Matters rubric. So I'm drawing from the COI framework by setting the climate in my course and showing myself. And I'm also pulling from the Quality Matters rubric, which is kind of the gold standard in online course design. And we do offer workshops about the Quality Matters rubric. I teach that, so you can look for that in the workshops calendar, and I would love to see you there. So I just want to go ahead and make this a numbered list, again, to show my students exactly how they should progress as they get started on this first day of the new semester. And that's really important for students as the Quality Matters and the research that behind that rubric shows. So I'm going to look for links in my course, or I'm going to look for the bulleted list option, and I'm going to select that number option. And again, I like to really give that visual organization to my page, and I'm just going to indent that a little bit further by looking for that button. And so now what I want to do is start adding these links, and I think this is really helpful for students. And this is very intentional that the very first thing I want my students to do is introduce themselves in this discussion board. So I know a lot of times we start with the syllabus. We want students to know everything. We want to remind them that they should reference the syllabus all throughout the semester and all of those things, and it's very important. But again, leaning on the community of inquiry framework, we want to set the climate in the course. So this was an intentional decision on my part to make number one, I want to get to know you. So I'm going to link that discussion board. So again, my course is very intuitive. Students don't have to hunt around. Their first experience in my course is not a frustrating one. It's an organized, intuitive, welcoming experience. So I'm going to look for the course links button, and I'm going to select course. I'm going to select course links, and then I'm going to start navigating over here to all of the things I want to link on this course homepage. So I'm going to look for discussions, and I'm going to select the introductions, and now that's going to add a link, so when students go to this page they can just click it to get where they need to go. And then next I tell students to start exploring the course. This is the next thing I prioritize. I want you to get to know what we're doing here. So, and I want to explain, this draws from the Quality Matters rubric, the structure of the course. You'll find everything you need to complete the course under modules. And I tell them that the modules are organized by week. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to link to modules here in my course navigation. Actually, I'm going to go to course navigation and just select modules for that one. And then I can link to a specific module by going to modules and selecting the course orientation module. Then I can link the syllabus by going to course navigation and finding syllabus and the syllabus quiz. So I want students, again, to be able to access everything they need on this first day of class very easily. So I'm going to go to quizzes, and I'm going to link my syllabus quiz. And then finally, I'm going to link my week 1 module here. And then I include this question, this section about how students can get support. So what I want to do is maybe add some formatting here, because this is important. Students, I set up a Q&A. Actually, I'll just link that real quick. I set up a Q&A discussion board in all of my courses where students can come to ask about course content assignments, all of those kinds of things, so that students have access to each other's questions and my answers to those questions. So instead of getting 10 emails with the same question and me going back and forth between those 10 students, I open up those questions for everyone to read and have access to. So I'm going to go to my discussions and link my course Q&A, and this will be here all semester. So if they have a question throughout the semester, they always know they can come right here. And I'm going to add some formatting there just to make it extra clear. I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. If their question is of a personal nature, I want them to email me. And then I also tell them that I have office hours every Monday, and I would love to see them there. And then I'm just going to put a link to my Zoom session. And this one's going to be an external link. So I'm just going to paste it in there. And then that's it. So I have my my course page set up, my course homepage. So I can see it looks good. I like it. I think it's simple, which is totally fine. There's lots more you can do with this. If you like creating graphics and videos, it's a great idea to kind of show students around your course with a course orientation or a course tour video. And you can use Studio to create that, and that's a really great thing to do. But what I want to show you with this video is that you can hit those things from the Community of Inquiry model and the Quality Matters rubric very simply. Text, pictures, links, a little bit of formatting, and I have an intuitive, welcoming course homepage that only took me really a few minutes to set up. It doesn't have to be something, it's not all or nothing. You can do something simple and effective. So now let's set this as our course homepage. If we go home, even though we created that page, if we go home and click choose homepage, it's still gonna be grayed out because I have to tell Canvas that that is the page I want to use. So I'm going to go to pages in my course, look for that page I created, and then go to its 3-dot menu and select use as front page, and it puts that little indicator there for me. And now when I go home and I click choose homepage, this is an option for me. So I'm going to select that option, click save. And now this is my course homepage, and as always, it's a great idea to go to Student View and make sure everything looks and works as you expect it will for your students. So that's it. That's setting your course homepage and curating that initial experience for your students in your course and giving them a great first impression of you and your course. If you want help setting this up, you can always reach out to your school's ITC, or you can reach me via 6Tech.